Hi, welcome to Inscapia. Today we are here with Act 1, Scene 3 of our Julius Caesar series. So let's start. A street, thunder and lightning, Casca and Cicero. So ये scene important है because this is the night before the 15th of March, and here all the conspirators gather and plan to kill Caesar the next day. This is important. So Cicero, and ये जो रात है, this is a very stormy night. ठीक है, बहुत stormy night है and many unnatural things happen during this night. So you have to make note of all the unnatural things that happen during this night. This is important. So good evening, Keska. Brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless and why stare you so? तो केस्का को बोलते हैं good evening. Did you bring Caesar home? And why are you breathless? What happened? Keska. Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unformed? Ki, are you not affected when this whole earth is shaking like an unstable thing? O Cicero, I have seen tempest when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks. तो अभी बोले कि I have seen storms. Tempest का मतलब है storms जहाँ पे these winds have uprooted oaks, very strong oaks. Oaks पेड़ है. It's a tree. All right, it's a strong tree. So there, it's such a tempest, it's such a storm that the winds have uprooted strong trees. And I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam, and I have seen huge waves. Okay, I have seen huge waves, and the waves were so high to be exalted with the threatening clouds. इतना ऊंचा था that they are almost about to reach the clouds. All right, so I have seen such waves, but never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest dropping fire. But टिल डेट आज तक मुझे ऐसा कोई टेम्पेस्ट नहीं दिखा वेयर देर इज सो मच ऑफ थंडर एंड लाइटनिंग, सो इट्स लाइक ड्रॉपिंग फायर. ईदर देयर इज अ सिविल स्ट्राइफ इन हेवन, तो या तो भगवानों के बीच लड़ाई हो रहा है, ठीक है, देयर इज ए सिविल वॉर इन हेवन, और एल्स द वर्ल्ड टू सॉसी विद द गॉड्स इंसेंसेस देम टू सेंड डिस्ट्रक्शन. और नहीं तो दिस वर्ल्ड हैज बिकम सो बैड एंड हैज ऑफेंडेड गॉड सो मच दैट God is trying to destroy it all. So Cicero says, why? Did you see anything more wonderful? Means, did you see anything unnatural or strange? Then Casca points out all the things that he has seen, and this becomes important. You have to mark all those things. All right. A common slave, you know him well by sight. That means a normal slave. He held up his left hand and he showed his left hand, which was burning like 20 torches joined. So it was burning that much, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. So the hand was in flames, but he was not burnt. He was not burnt. He was not scorched. Besides, I have not since put up my sword, and that's why I have not put my sword inside. I have drawn my sword. वो sword बाहर निकाल के घूम रहा था actually, so that because if any danger comes, he will be able to defend. Against the Capitol, I met a lion. So he saw a lion near the Capitol. So this is unnatural because you normally don't see lion in the city. Who glared upon me and went surly by. So he just looked at Casca and did nothing to him and went away without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, and in a part of the city there were like many women, pale women. They were pale with fear. They were gathered together, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. Who swore? They promised that they saw men in fire, people burning, and they were just walking up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night, the owl, did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. So the owl is normally seen at night, but now, yesterday, the owl during noon was sitting in the marketplace, hooting and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are their reasons, they are natural. So he says, when these unnatural things happen together, let not people say that, oh, it is a coincidence. Okay, it's natural, because he believes, Casca believes, that they are portentous things unto the climate they point upon, that these are symbolic things. These are symbolic things, and they point to a very bad state of affairs that is going to happen. So Cicero says, indeed, it's a strange disposed time. Yes, it is strange, it's true. But men may construe things after their fashion. But the problem with men, with humans, is that we always connect things with ourselves. It may have nothing to do with us, but we will try to link it with our own lives. So that may not be true. Clean from the purpose of the things themselves. So the things कोई भी वजह से हो रहा होगा, but we'll link it with our own lives. So this may not be true. Come Caesar to the capital tomorrow. So will Caesar come to the capital tomorrow? कल Caesar आएगा क्या capital? So Casca says he will, for he did bid Antonius send word to you he would be there tomorrow. Okay? Yes, he will come because he told Antony to tell you, to tell Cicero that Caesar will be there tomorrow. So Cicero says, okay then, good night. And this disturbed sky is not to walk in. So don't stay outdoors. This is not a very safe environment. All right. So Casca says, farewell Cicero. Exit Cicero. Enter Cassius. Cassius asks, who's there? They are not able to see each other. So Casca says, a Roman. And Cassius recognizes Casca by his voice. So he says, Casca, it's you. So Casca says, your ear is good, Cassius, but what kind of strange night is this? It's a very fearful night. But Cassius twists the narrative. He says, but it's a very pleasing night to honest men. This is a very ironic statement because for Cassius, he uses the storm as a symbol of protest. So this means the gods are on their side, and Cassius says that it's very pleasing night to honest men. For honest people like him and Casca and other people who are honest according to Cassius, it's a very pleasing night for them to do honest things, because this means the gods are also trying to make the people aware of Caesar's growing tyranny, and Cassius will use this storm to support his narrative. Casca then asked him, whoever knew the heavens menace, so that who knew what these things mean? All right. So Cassius says, those that have known the earth so full of falls, that those people who have lived in even darker times, they will know what is the purpose of these events. For my part, but as far as I am concerned, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night. But I have I'm not defensive. I'm not defensive. I am embracing this storm. All right, and I have submitted myself into the night, into the dangerous night, and thus unbraced. So I'm unprotected, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to the thunderstone. And what happens is, jab bhi thunder happens, he points himself to the thunder, to the lightning, okay, so that the lightning may come and hit him. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself even in the aim and very flash of it, that when the lightning seems to strike, I present myself in his way. Okay, I present myself in his way. Casca says, but why do you tempt the heavens? Why do you want to kill yourself? Why do you tempt the heavens? It is not our part to rebel against God. It's our part to be humble and submit ourselves. It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds. So when gods themselves send these symbols, these ominous symbols, these bad symbols, so it's our part to fear them. हमारा काम है डरना, ना कि rebel करना against it. So Cassius says, you are dull, Casca. So you have become dull. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. So he says, and jo Roman spark hona chahiye, that is not there in you, or maybe you are not using it. You look pale and gaze and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder that you are afraid and you have put on fear. But to see the strange impatience of the heavens, to see these storms, to see these events, after seeing this, you have become fearful, but you have not considered the true cause. So what will happen is now Cassius will use this storm to support his narrative, that these storms, these unnatural things, this represents Caesar and his growing dominance. So he will link everything here to Caesar's dominance, to Caesar's growing influence, and then try to manipulate Casca into joining him. This is the intention of Cassius. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires, why all these gliding ghosts, so all these people walking in fire, these ghosts that are going around, why birds and beasts from quality and kind of all those kinds of beasts and birds that we have seen, the lions walking on the streets and stuff, why old men fool and children calculate? So old men, foolish people, like simple people and children, why are they able to? Here, calculate means at that time there was a Roman belief that old men simple people like fools and children, they have some powers, they have some mystical powers, so they believed it. So that why they are able to calculate, why do they have those powers, why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures. So why are these things so unnatural, why are all these unnatural things happening, why have they changed their natures. So normally you will not see all those things, but now they have changed their natures and preformed faculties to monstrous qualities. So this storms, this thunder, lightning, fire, birds, beasts, they have changed their natural qualities to some monstrous beings. They have become monstrous. Why? This monstrosity, this is he is referring to Caesar, that Caesar, who should have been a very normal, natural kind of person, he has become monstrous. So this is, he has connected Caesar to all these unnatural things. Why? You shall find that heaven has infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warn. This is, heaven is trying to warn us actually. With all these unnatural things, heaven is trying to warn us. And the heaven has itself turned these things to a monstrous state. So I could, Keska, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, open graves, and roars as does the lion in the capital. So like the lion in the capital, there is a man who is just like this dreadful night, who roars and who dominates, who dominates everyone. A man no mightier than thyself or me, a man who is normally not mightier than you or me, but in personal action, but has grown prodigious, like has become monstrous and fearful as these strange eruptions are. So he has become monstrous and fearful like this unnatural symbols, like these unnatural events. So Casca understands that Cassius is referring to Caesar. So he says, it is Caesar that you mean, is it not Cassius? So Cassius, अभी Cassius का problem ये है कि he doesn't know whose side is Casca on. So he is just testing him. He's just testing him. He wants to manipulate him first and see whether Casca is on his side or on Caesar's side. So Cassius doesn't reply directly. He says, let it be who it is. So I'll not name him for now. For Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors, but woe the while our fathers' minds are dead. That means nowadays Romans have lost their masculinity. We do have our hands and legs like our ancestors, but our fathers' minds are dead. The greatness that our fathers used to carry, that is dead. And we are governed with our mother's space. We have become womanly. Okay, we have become womanly, so we have lost our masculinity. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish, and we have become feminine. Okay, we have become feminine because we are just suffering here. So, obviously, there was this male, female, masculinity, femininity, this concept, this was very prominent. All right, so here he says that we have become, we have taken our mother's spirits and we have become feminine. We have lost our Roman masculinity that our fathers, our ancestors used to carry. And Casca says, indeed, it is true. They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land in every place save in Italy. So, उस समय Roman Empire बहुत बड़ा था. And here Casca says that the senators may crown Caesar as a king, and he will have his he will have power over many other territories, maybe all other territories except Italy. Italy, like in Rome, he cannot become the king because Rome was a republic at that point of time. So he cannot become the king here, but in all other places he will become the king and he will rule there. Okay. So Cassius says, if that happens, I know where I'll wear this dagger then. So मेरा dagger का क्या काम होगा, that I know. I'll just kill myself before becoming a slave of Caesar. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. So Cassius will not be a slave and he will save himself from being a slave. And in that thing, you gods, you make the weak most strong. So normally क्या होता है? You can only dominate a person's physical body. You can only dominate, you can have control over the physical aspects of a person. But if the weak takes his own life, then you are not in control of his life. And in that thing, the weak also can become strong, and even tyrants get defeated, because tyrants, as the same thing, they have control over the physical aspects of life, but it cannot defeat the spirit. So here Cassius says, nor stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeon, nor strong links of iron. These are all bondage symbols. Okay. So sub stony tower where you are kept as a prisoner, walls of beaten brass, airless dungeon. These are all like jail and stuff. Strong links of iron, your chains. So this can bind your body. It cannot bind your spirit. So nothing can be retentive to the strength of spirit. So you cannot have control over the spirit, because life, being wary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. Because life, if it grows tires of all these worldly things, it always has the power to dismiss itself. It always has the power to kill itself. So if I know this, know all the world besides, that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure. So I know one thing, that I will not be a slave. And that part of tyranny, that part of dominance, I can shake off at my own pleasure, because I'll kill myself before I'll become a slave. And Keska says, so can I. I can also do that. And every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity. So anyone who is chained, anyone who is captured, he in his own hand has the power to cancel his captivity. So he can kill himself and he can be free from these worldly things according to them. So Cassius says, and why should Caesar be a tyrant then? How does he get the power to become such a influential person? He knows that he cannot be a wolf, but the Roman are sheep. So we have a behavior like sheep. Okay, bakri, bher, bakri jaisa, we have our mentality, and that's why he has become a wolf. He were no lion, were not Romans hence. So agar Roman log deer, we have become like deer. All right, we have become prey, and that's why he has become a lion. So हम लोगों ने allow किया है उसको to rule over us. That's why he is becoming such an influential person, because we have become people, like we have become sheep, we have become deer, we have become feminine. So that's why he has become a wolf, he has become a lion, and he treats us like prey. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire, begin it with weak straws. तो अगर किसी को भी एक बड़ा फायर बनाना है, so he will start it with weak straws. We cannot just burn strong things at first. We have to find weak straws, we have to find twigs and stuff. We'll have to start the fire. Once the fire starts, then it can devour strong things as well. But we have to start it with weak straws. So we Romans, we are those weak straws, and that's why Caesar is able to make such a mighty fire. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal? Offal is, organs of animals and stuff. So it says Rome has become trash, Rome has become rubbish when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. Because रोम कितना रबिश बन गया है कि रोम से जो सबसे हाईएस्ट थिंग रोम इज एबल टू प्रोड्यूस, दैट इज सीजर. सो अगर सीजर जैसा एक पर्सन इज द बेस्ट that Rome can offer, that means Rome has become trash, because Rome has a history of great people. अगर रोम से बस एक सीजर ही निकल रहा है, all right, so that means Rome has become trash because it's able to only produce a man like Caesar. But oh grief, but then he realizes he has talked too much. He realizes he has talked too much. So he doesn't know whether Casca is on his side or not. So he says, where have you led me? Okay, so what have I said? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman, and I do not know, but I think I probably am speaking before a willing bondman, before a willing slave, all right, a slave of Caesar. Then I know my answer must be made, and if that is true, then I may be attacked, I may be in danger, but I am armed, and dangers are to me indifferent. But I have already told you, I will not be a slave, and I do not care about danger, and I do not care about danger. Agar zarurat pade, I will just kill myself. And Casca then says that he's actually on his side. You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no flaring telltale. So he says, you are speaking to Casca, and I am not a fawning telltale. I am not a betrayer. Telltale means no, वो जो सबको जाके बता देता है, ठीक है, सबको वो तो बिट्रे कर देता है, सबको जाके बता देता है. So there is a telltale. And flaring is fawning. I am not a psychopath. I am not a betrayer. All right. Hold my hand. He says, if you promise that be factious for redress of all these griefs, if you decide that you will solve this, okay, you have a solution for this, for the dominance of Caesar, I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes further. That then whatever effort you will give, I will give as well. तुम जितना दूर जाओगे मैं भी साथ चलूंगा, मैं भी उतना ही दूर जाऊंगा. And Cassius says there is a bargain made. So this is a bargain. So I do have some solution. I do have some solution. So okay, this is a deal. Now you know, Keska, I have already moved some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequences. That means I already have something planned, and I have already convinced some noble minded Romans to join me in this enterprise, which is honorable but dangerous, which can have dangerous consequence. And I do know by this they stay for me in Pompey's port. So पॉम्पे का घर, पॉम्पे का ऑडिटोरियम में, वे पोर्च पॉम्पे का प्लेस में, दे आर वेटिंग फॉर मी. फॉर नाउ दिस फियरफुल नाइट देयर इज नो स्टर और वॉकिंग इन द स्ट्रीट्स. तो यहाँ पे नाउ इट्स ऑलरेडी वेरी लेट एंड वी हैव टू गो एंड मीट देम. एंड द कम्प्लेक्शन ऑफ द एलिमेंट इन फेवर्स लाइक द वर्क वी हैव इन हैंड, मोस्ट ब्लडी फेरी मोस्ट एवर. एंड जो एनवायरमेंट है, जो एटमोसफियर है, दैट हैज बिकम like our task that we have to do, that is bloody, fiery and terrible. All right, so he has compared the storm, the environment, to the task that they have to do, that is bloody, fiery and terrible. And then Keska hears someone coming. He says, stand close a while, for here comes one in haste. Someone was walking very quickly in a hurry. So Cassius said, it is Cinna. I do know him by his gait, so by his demeanor I can understand it's Cinna, and he is a friend. Enter Cinna. Cinna, where are you going in such a hurry? Cinna says, to find you out. I am searching for you. Who is that with you? Metellus Cimber. So he's another conspirator actually, Metellus Cimber. Cassius says, no, it's Casca. One incorporate to our attempt. So he is also a part of our strategy. He's also a part of our conspiracy. Am I not stayed for Cinna? So is someone waiting for me? So Cinna says, I'm glad on it that Casca has become a part of this. What a fearful night is this. There is 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights. So it's a very fearful night, and 2 or 3 of us have seen very strange things. So Cassius says, am I not stayed for? Tell me, is someone waiting for me? So Cinna says, yes, you are. And then he requests Cassius that if you could but win the noble Brutus to a party, because everyone wants Brutus to be a part of this conspiracy, because having Brutus by their side will mean that they are already winners. They are already winners because Brutus has the power to shift people's opinion. That is the most important. So Cassius says, "Be you content, good Cinna. Take this paper." He says, "You'll be satisfied, good Cinna. Don't worry about that. I have thought about it. Take this paper." So we have already discussed in Act 1, Scene 2 how Cassius planned to throw some letters into Brutus' home and office and stuff like that, so where he will write in different handwritings and pretend that people of Rome want Brutus to take some action against Caesar. So he is executing his plan. So he says, "Cinna, take this paper and look you lay in a praetor's chair." Praetor is a magistrate, so in Brutus' chair, and where Brutus will find it, and throw this in at his window. This one you put it with wax. You glue it with wax in old Brutus's statue, in his ancestor statue. So throw all these things, do all these things, and all this done, repair to Pompey's porch, where you shall find us. And then after that, come to Pompey's porch, and you will find us there. Is Decius, Brutus, and Trebonius there? These are all conspirators. And we'll see them in the next scene, all of them together. Cinna says all of them are there, but Metellus Cimber, and he has gone to seek you at your house, and he has also gone in searching for you. Well, I'll hie, that means I'll hurry, and so bestow these papers as you bade me, and as you have said, I'll do that. And Cassius says, that done, repair to Pompey's theatre. After that, come to Pompey's theatre. And then Cinna leaves. He says, come Casca, you and I will yet before day, means before day, see Brutus at his house, and we'll go, and before morning, we will go and see him at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and almost he is with us, and the man entire upon the next encounter, that means when we will meet him the next time, he will totally be on board. He is already with us, 3 parts, but the entire person will be with us, will be on board once we meet him next. Keska says he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which should appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to wordness. That means, I want to discuss this, that he people of Rome have a very high opinion of Brutus. And if Brutus is a part of this conspiracy, this will change to virtue. That means people will think that obviously there is a reason why Brutus has killed Caesar. Alright, otherwise it would become like, an assassination. An assassination. And so that will become an offense. But if Brutus is part of that, that means there is some reason. It will change to virtue and to something worthy, honorable. Cassius same him and his worth and our great need of him. Yes, he his value and we have a great need of him. You have well considered. You have told the exact thing. It's very important for us. Let us go, for it is after midnight. So it's already past midnight, and before day we'll awake him and be sure of him. And just before morning we'll wake him up and be sure about his presence or about his support with us. So this is Act 1 Scene 3. I'll see you in a new video. Thank you.